Hey everybody, it's John from JC's Tanks. Well, it's been a pretty busy month here in the fish room. We've had some ups and downs, so let's take a look. First, let's look at our guppy, the firecracker guppy tank. Got a rare appearance by this green dragon, long fin green dragon bristlenose. I haven't seen him for about a month, but he's growing pretty well. The firecracker guppies are still multiplying really good. Up here's a few of their fry. They've had a couple batches this month. I haven't counted, but there's not a whole lot. There's 20 or 30 total between the two births. The double dark Pinoy, if I can get in from the glare. It's difficult seeing them with this black background, so I'm making another 20 gallon, and I have the gray plasti dip paint. I'm going to move them over there probably this weekend, so I'll be able to find them easier. Half the time I come in here and just at first glance it doesn't look like they're even in the tank, especially when they're facing out front. It's blend in with the background, but they've been doing good. Oh, their slate fell over. Let's see. They still spawn about every 8 or 9 days. Here's the koi pair. They just spawned here a couple days ago, and so their eggs are due to hatch probably late this evening, but more likely tomorrow. And there's pretty good coverage in there. A lot of white, but not overwhelming. Still greater than half of the eggs are still good. And here's a batch of that koi female and a platinum angel. There were originally about 45 of these and a dozen of the double dark Pinoy. I'm not sure if a couple of these that just have dark streaks, if they're part of the gold marble or if they're going to turn out to be the black Pinoy. I haven't raised double dark babies before. I'm not sure if they're still turning, getting the pigment. There, let's see. These guys were born in the beginning of June, so they're coming up on 1 month old. I'm preparing to move them down here to the 40 breeder. In here we just have biennial cories. And way down here in the corner I put in a couple of those babies from above to test the waters. Everything should do well. Yes, the double dark Pinoys here. This is their last batch. They laid them last, I want to say Thursday or Friday, but they've been free swimming for a couple of days. And so if all goes well with these angels moving down here, then I'll put those in the 10 gallon above. But it's time for their feeding, so they're all up here near the top. Let's see, the Blue Dream shrimp doing really well. I just dropped in some Repashy, so they're all on it. Well, one of the Repashy things landed in this Anubias. And the water still turns cloudy. It's not the cloudy bacterial bloom, it's just actual debris that gets kicked up from something. I'm not sure what. That's the only tank I've had the problem. I have this hang on back filter which helps polish the water, clean it up, but it's loud, and once I remove it, it goes right back to being cloudy again. Now I have the red cherry shrimp. They're doing really good. Most of them are the fire red quality. They don't take as strongly to the Repashy, but I just moved them from this 40 breeder next to me here. Speaking of 40 breeders, I cleaned out both of them, I think this month. They had all the thousands of ram's horn snails, and water wisteria had overgrown in that one. And so I've cleaned them out and installed these Matten filters with the Swiss Tropical Jet Lifter tubes. I'm really liking this method of filtration. Gives plenty of room for the fish, the back 3 or 4 inches for the filter, and the, kind of hide the tubes back there. We've got our Paleatus. They haven't laid any eggs for probably 3 or 4 weeks now. Not sure what their deal is. We just did I just redid this here 2 or 3 days ago. So they're still adjusting to the lack of hiding spots. This little clump of Java moss is all they got to hide under for now. I've moved some of the 10 gallons here to my workbench. The red mosaic and yellow mosaic pair, they just do not put out very many babies. It's been probably 2 to 3 months since they last had any, so I'm not sure what's going on. One of these days I'll have to get another trio from Guppy Train of the adults, so I'm guaranteed the red mosaics, or as Corey calls them, the best guppies in the world. It's just I bought a batch of fry, and not all of them turned into red. They were the various mosaics. These are a mess of male guppies that I just don't have females available to pair up with them. Over here I've got 2 of the firecracker guppies. Where is he? That seem to have developed bloat. Their chest has become really enlarged. There's the other guy. Oh, there he is over there. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, where'd he go? Okay. Let's see if we can zoom in on him. The side profile while he's there. You can really see, well, it's a bit blurry, but you can make out his silhouette, how large the chest is. I just have them separated off in here, and I picked up some frozen peas. I'm gonna fix those tonight and see if that helps pass whatever's blocking them up. Only 2 out of that whole firecracker guppy tank have developed that, and just came on really suddenly one day. That male looks a little big, and not as severe. I'll have to keep an eye on him. And here's our Shrimp King tank with some more of the blue dream shrimp. Haven't had any babies, not much action going on in here. Even the dwarf hairgrass isn't growing too quickly. Okay, let's go out front and take a look. Okay, we're out on the front porch where I have my tote pond set up. And this 55-gallon has 60 of the firecracker guppy babies. This whole front panel was covered in algae, but they've made quick work of it. Just now starting to get color in some of their tails. If they'd hold still enough to focus. But they're doing pretty good. Hey, the totes out here have enough bugs coming in that I don't too frequently have to feed them. This one's the white cloud mountain minnows. I've stirred up the Java moss a few times. Haven't seen any babies in any of these totes yet. These are some of the last mosaic guppies that yellow mosaic and the red had put out. They're pretty close to breeding age right now. There's this guy who has a green shimmer to him. Pretty nice. There we go. But he's got a real dark body with the green iridescence through it. All those guppies from Guppy Train had the elephant ear pectoral fins. And here are some of the blue diamond guppies. They were also fairly young when I put them out. As I stir up these yarn things. I don't see any little ones swimming around yet. And this is more of the same blue diamond. I'd put in one of my older females, hoping she would jumpstart them having babies. But they're not dying, so they're doing fairly good. I mean, and no babies that I can see swimming around yet. I've had them out here since late March, early April, I think it was. I started with the mountain minnows since they can withstand the cooler temperatures. And then I slowly added the other guppies. Here's that next 20-gallon. How's that background looking? Yeah, still needs another coat or two of the paint. The plastic spray on paint. So I'll do that this evening. Alright. Oh, I almost forgot in the intro I mentioned we had some ups and downs here in the fish room. When I cleaned out this 40 breeder, got rid of all the sand, just threw it away. The ram's horn snails went. I saved the assassin snails that I could find, but I filled it up again. I had some more plants in here to help with cycling the tank. And then in this one I had a batch of 80 to 90 fry from the koi female and this platinum male. They were about 6 weeks old, and so I started moving them into the 40 breeder to grow out more. When everything was good for a few hours, and then they started dying off here in this tank. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure in the beginning what was going on, so I did a water change, about 50%, flushed it, added it back in with the prime and everything, but they were all still slowly dying off. And it wasn't until the next day when I'd gotten some more angels, and they started showing the same signs as well, breaking out the test strips. Come to find out, my tap water, which has been good for the last year, I haven't had any difficulties with it, now tests positive for about 1 or more parts per million of ammonia. And so I was, draining and refilling this tank with more ammonia, or water that had ammonia in it. And so that whole batch ended up dying before the night was over. I wasn't able to save any of them. And so it's just a reminder never to, I guess, assume your tap water is good. I have water here in this garbage pail that I run through the auto water change system, and it tests negative. There's no ammonia in it. So just within the last 3 or 4 days, something with the city changed, and they're adding in ammonia or something that releases. Doing some Googling, they mentioned chloramines, which I know they always used, but chloramines can have ammonia as a byproduct. My tap water, when I started this fish room, always tested 0, and so I stopped testing it for the longest time. Never had any trouble until now. So it's been quite a ride this month, but losing that one batch of babies, but certainly these parents put out eggs every week or so, so we'll be back at it again shortly. I'd say they did it, I think, on Sunday. So, or Sunday or so, they're expected to have their next spawning. So that's why in this tank was testing it with just a few baby angels down here, although this water still tests 0 ammonia. So I'm confident it's gonna be safe, guys. After that scare, certainly want to double check and be safe about it. So I think that'll wrap up this month's fish room tour. So long.